Welcome to the Sheffield United way. My name's Hal. That bit's not important. Hamza Choudhury is. That's what we are talking about on this video. Hamza Choudhury. And many were thinking, I wish he would bloomin' Choud hurry up and get here.
Olé, olé, olé. Olé, olé, olé. Olé, olé, olé.
Reinforcements needed. That's what we're talking about. 𝗬𝗏𝗲𝗏, I think we can all agree. A big, big miss. That ability to defend and attack. Box-to-box midfielder, allowing 𝗍𝗍 to do his work is arguably what we've been crying out for. I'm not sure Hamza is going to fit into that. Hamza might be more of a 𝗍𝗍 type, although less attack-minded, and Vinny isn't that attack-minded. So who knows exactly where this is going to fit, but, you know, what have we been crying out for? Probably a replacement for 𝗏𝗏. Now, 𝗏𝗏 has done well, sometimes very well, but sometimes goes a bit too sideways or backwards with the ball rather than progressive. That's just my opinion, and lacks consistency. He's still young. I think he's going to go on to be an exceptional midfielder, but he could maybe do with mentoring and influence, even if it's just in the dressing room, and a bit of a rest. It is a relentless cut and thrust, the most physical league, the Championship. It's a league Hamza Choudhury knows all about, and he has top-flight experience and nous that any promotion contending side, you would think, in theory, would welcome. I've heard a variety, though, of mixed reports on his performances, but in one person I trust, and that is the judgment of Chris Wilder, who's worked with him before at Watford. Not many games that Hamza and Chris were together at Watford, but he knows Hamza. Hamza knows Chris. Chris knows the league. Hamza knows the league. And both, crucially, know what it takes to get promotion. It was actually the 10th of August 2022 that Hamza joined Championship club Watford on loan from Leicester City. For the rest of the season, he played 37 times in total, so not available for every game. Wilder arrived at Watford in March of 2023, so 11 games that he got as Watford manager. If you're interested, 3 wins, 3 draws, 5 defeats, but he used Hamza Choudhury in those games. And Choudhury offers, as I've mentioned, I think even less going forward than Vinny does, but it could be useful having both. Shea Charles going back to Sheffield Wednesday also probably rekindled this Hamza Choudhury interest, although it seems like Sheffield United have been looking at him. He's been on the radar for quite some time. I mean, the first time we mentioned Hamza Choudhury on this video was about a year ago on this channel, on a very different video that Ollie did. Hamza would hope, I think, we should certainly look at him as like this anyway, can pick the right pass out. He's not quite a halfway house between Oliver Arblaster and 𝗍𝗍, more defensive. We were linked with a halfway house in Tyler Morton, and I did a video about him as a few other midfielders that we were talking about. But that link with Tyler Morton seems to have gone cold. So Hamza allows 𝗍𝗍 to drop between the centre-backs and dictate play, or maybe the other way around. If you're going to play them together, you need that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏esque role. Hamza allows Wilder to have solidity and hopefully give, more importantly, 𝗍𝗏𝗏 license through the middle to create, as actually you can keep throwing strikers at the problem, but United's issues, as I've been saying on this channel for months, creating chances. I've been saying this term, we're scoring goals that are non-repeatable actions. I'm getting bored of hearing myself say it because we are not creating repeated opportunities like we did in the first time, actually. I remember with Chris Wilder, League One particularly, we did this quite a lot. Kieran Freeman was very good at it. Getting to the byline, low crosses. I mean, they cause havoc, even if it's just a defender that gets a swipe on it. We're doing less and less of that. So creating is actually the main issue. Now, Tom Cannon has been brought in, but he's got the attributes, in my opinion, and the opinion actually of Locks, a Leicester City fan, who will get the quote from him on Hamza soon. Tom Cannon has been brought in, but he's got the attributes of a Billy Sharp type striker. He needs a striker alongside him. Stoke fans, Preston fans, and Leicester fans all said that at 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏com with their opinions on him. So Tom Cannon, a Billy Sharp type striker. He needs a striker alongside him and chances created for him. Otherwise, he will see very little of the ball. I would like to see United, with the players we now have at our disposal, go 4-3-1-2. But equally, we could, although I'm not as big a fan of this, go 4-3-3 with 𝗏𝗏 now allowed in that central midfield role because Choudhury covers. But that formation limits game time for Jezren Rak-Sakyi, Brooks, unless he plays left side in the middle, as he did in the Premier League. And most crucially, it could limit time for Tyrese Campbell, unless he plays as a striker with Cannon. Or maybe you play more with Cannon. Or maybe you play Ben Brereton Diaz with Cannon. So you see what I mean? It could limit time for Campbell. And that's assuming that Cannon's going to be, indispensable. options are plenty. And, that's what you want. Hamza Choudhury allows that as well. And is this the priority? Chris Wilder may now believe so. Personally, I don't. I don't believe Hamza Choudhury is the priority. I believe a centre-back. I mean, just check the stats out. With 𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗏, 21 games, conceding 10 goals. Without 𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗏, 7 games, conceded 10 goals. So, centre-back for me. We've spoken about John Joe Kenny on this channel, and not specifically him, but a right-back allowing another option with Gilchrist going to centre-back. But the more I see Gilchrist, I think he's regressing. So maybe I'm more concerned about him now as a centre-back, even though I do believe he is a centre-back. I don't think he's a right-back, and I said that even when we signed him. So, to the details of Hamza Choudhury, 27 years old, 5'10", just slightly too tall to be a great height for a man. Hamza 𝗬𝗏 Choudhury, to give him his full name. Birthday on the 1st of October. He was born in 1997, a Bangladeshi footballer, born in Loughborough, Leicestershire. He's been at Leicester City his entire career. At the age of 16, Hamza was reportedly monitored by a number of top European clubs. You can go and find those articles, actually, on Google. Some of the clubs looking at him. Wow. It must have been a very, very exciting teenage prospect. He made his first team debut for the Foxes on the 19th of September 2017, coming on as a substitute in a 2-1 win against Liverpool at home in the third round of the League Cup. He made his Premier League debut on the 28th of November as a sub at home, a 2-1 win against Spurs. His first Premier League start came in the 2018 season, 14th of April, towards the end of the season, a 2-1 away defeat to Burnley. Utter woke nonsense. On the 30th of August 2019, Choudhury signed a 4-year contract with Leicester City. The idea being then he would kick on and be a first-team regular, but it didn't quite work out like that. He actually has enjoyed some loan spells away from Leicester. He joined League One leaders Burton Albion on a 1-month loan deal early on in his career, playing 13 league games for them. He played in League One. He joined Burton again the following season when they were in the Championship. He played 13 league games again. Watford, as mentioned, had a loan spell there in the Championship. For Leicester, away from those 3 loan spells, he's played 131 times, scoring twice, 4 assists. This season, only 4 appearances. His goals, 1 came in the Premier League against Newcastle. It's a really nice strike if you get a chance to look it up, wherever you look up goals. That was in a 3-0 win back in the 2019-20 season, sort of right foot passing it into the top corner. It's beautiful. The other goal in the Europa League against AEK Athens in a 2-1 win back in the 2020-21 season. Both were away games. Now, positionally, he's mainly a defensive midfielder. He's played central midfield. He's played right back, centre back, right midfield. He's even played once as a left back. But 110 appearances as a defensive midfielder tells you all you need to know. 72 in the centre and 16 times as a makeshift right back. I mean, we might actually utilise him at right back. It's possible. He's played 83 times in the Championship, so that's what we're focusing on because Sheffield United are currently in the Championship. 57 times in the Premier League. He's played 13 times in League One, as I mentioned, with Burton. He's represented England under-21s 7 times, but now very much Bangladeshi. Now, he has suffered illness and injury in his career. One that stands out, a knee injury in 2022-23 season when at Watford, which saw him miss a month of action and 6 games. I mentioned only played 37 games. That's why he would have played more had he been available. Watford fans really rate Hamza Choudhury. All the ones I've spoken to wanted him to sign. He's an aggressive player. This is something that I've heard many, many times. Good in the tackle, determined, high work rate, stamina, good fitness. Leicester fans have told me he's a leader. He's very brave. That is something I've read repeatedly. But a team player is something that Chris Wilder often goes for. Here's what Leicester fan and fellow YouTuber 𝗏𝗏𝗏 has said about Hamza. Where do I start? A player that will never give up. Someone who will fight for 90 minutes, doing what he does best and the only thing which he can do, try and chase the ball and win it. A decent Championship-level defensive midfielder who can also plug the gap at right back and centre-back if absolutely necessary. Don't expect him to do anything progressive when he wins the ball back. Now, that's the end of the quote. That concerns me because I was saying at the very start of this video that is something, the creation of chances. That is what we've needed a little bit more of. This won't be that. This is actually going to stop those breaks. When we lose the ball, somebody's going to track back, try and win it back. We have 𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗏, but do we have anyone else like that? I guess this, is that. The 𝗣𝗵𝗲𝗏 standout stats, so there isn't much to go on as Hamza hasn't been a regular this season. As I mentioned, only 4 Premier League involvements, and the stats are taken from the last 365 days, or a year, if you're not into the whole 𝗫𝗵𝗏𝗏 thing. If you get that reference, put it in the comments. So pass completed, he's in the 96th percentile. The higher the percentile, the better. Passing attempts, 94th. Pass completion percentage, 88%. Total passing distance is in the 92nd percentile. Progressive passing distance, 86th percentile. Short passes completed, 96th. Pass attempts, 96th. Pass completion, 99th percentile. Again, it's a very small sample size, but these are all really, really encouraging stats. And these are the standout stats, because there are some, of course, that attacking-wise, there's no point in me reading them out. They're really poor. But passing seems to be his strong suit, as well as in the defensive side of his game. Blocks in the 99th percentile. Shots blocked, 99th percentile. Passes blocked, 89th percentile. 96th percentile for interceptions, for tackles and interceptions, 3.91 per 90. That's in the 84th percentile. So, good stats. Those are the standouts. I wanted to finish with some positives because, as you know, if you watch regularly, I'm a positive kind of guy. Let me know what you think about Hamza Choudhury in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. You can always write a comment, which is part of your review if you listen as an audio podcast. Thanks again.
𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗏 𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗚𝗚𝗏 𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗚𝗚𝗏